It is Diwali, which is the victory of light over darkness, which we so need right now. And we are so happy that the rooster is being featured to announce this new age, the age of light over darkness. And we love celebrating the three people that are joining us. Charles Taylor, who's an evolutionary biologist and who I worked with at UCLA. And then we collaborated on a project called Birdsong Diamond, appropriately. So, and then we had Masha Yazbek, who was working with me in Tsukuba University. And Birdsong Diamond has absolutely a Japanese flavor. And there's images that I could share of Masha flying in large space. So she was definitely the rooster. And then we have a new friend joining us, the rooster from Yale. So Masha is coming to us from Slovenia, I should say, and Charles is coming to us from Chicago, and Bailey's coming to us from Connecticut, from Yale University. And welcome, Bailey, joining us in this crazy project that we love. So we start usually by saying thank you. Thank you to all the animals who are here and who are joining this meeting where we celebrate the rooster. We usually start by saying that the animals are our friends, our laboratory experiments, our pets, our food, and we are also animals. And we want to remind us all that we also have all the animals within us. So whether you're a rooster or not, you have a rooster within you. And we look at these roosters to reflect on that part of us. So with that, I offer the red wine, which symbolizes the blood that we all share and that we all have. And then Siddharth.
Siddharth. The baby fusilli with butter and pepper and salt as a DNA that we are all sharing with each other.
And to the roosters, we have a little offering as well. So I am offering these amazing cookie clusters, which I have been chewing on before we started the meeting too. They're cornflakes melted with nuts and all kinds of different things, and they're not cooked. So they're just perfect for the rooster. Please enjoy. Okay, so our mantra of the day is if you really like something that you hear or taste, and please eat while you're listening to us, you go All right, so John is here, which is wonderful. And we will first honor Charles Taylor, who is a mega rooster and who spent a lot of time in Japan. Welcome, Charles.
Well, thank you. Before describing the meal itself, I should say a few words about the setting. This is our dining room, and appropriate for today. Over my right shoulder is Ganesha, both appropriate for Victoria's infatuation with Eastern philosophy, but also, of course, for Diwali. And related to that, and in back of me is a painting that was done by a friend of ours that shows the bombing of the Chinese embassy during the problems with Kosovo and Serbia. Again, a close tie-in with Victoria and Masha too, I presume.
And Ivana. Yeah. We got a Balkan contingent here.
Well, I spent a lot of time in the Balkans too, and it's really close to my heart. But that's the background, and a little bit of background on the chickens and the roosters. This isn't your first rodeo, so maybe you know this already, but it bears repeating that originally chickens were domesticated, not something to eat, but rather they were domesticated for cockfighting sometime around the time of Confucius, probably in southern China, Thailand, in that area, Southeast Asia. It's not known exactly, but I think that the time is pretty well known, about 500 or so BC. There are records from 1,000, maybe even several thousand BC of chickens and roosters from the environment called what kind of fowl? Anyway, there's some sort of fowl, and it wasn't until Hellenistic times, maybe 200, 400 BC, that they were domesticated, both for food and raised for food and for the eggs. Now, of course, we keep them primarily as a source of food, rather than for the fighting. So it is food that I will direct our attention now, and the food that I chose is prepared in a donabe, which is a very special type of clay pot from Japan. The one on the left is the donabe that I prepared it in, and it's now sitting here steeping. But it's worth saying a little bit about the history of the donabe, because it's relevant to our meal. I'm quoting from a Japanese cookbook. Donabe is Japanese traditional cookware. Over its long history, donabe has become an important part of Japanese cuisine and its food culture. You could almost call donabe the national cookware of Japan, and almost every household has at least one of these vessels. The donabe that I used is on the left is from Iga, which is a town about 125 miles south of Tokyo. It's famous for its clay, and it is said that some of the most famous ninja and samurai came from that region. Appropriate, of course, for the rooster theme of today's dinner. A mention of in literature from the 8th century, early use was that each individual had their own clay pot served to them. That's before the families started eating together. But starting in the 18th century, it became communal. And I quote, "This style of serving is considered to be the origin of the hot pot dishes we associate with donabe today, in which ingredients such as tofu, fish, meat, and vegetables are placed in the pot and cooked in a simmering broth at the table. Today, donabe cooking brings family and friends closer together. In Japan, there is a common expression, nabe o kokomo, which means surrounding the pot. This expression evokes how sharing a hot pot meal at the same table creates an intimate communal experience, which is, I think, what we're looking at here. What I chose to make was a Napa cabbage hot pot that has Napa. Actually, isn't just California. I thought it was, but upon looking it up, that Napa means green leafy vegetable in Japanese. And somehow it got picked up as Napa for Napa Valley. But it brings to me to mind my communal roots with Victoria and the birdsong diamond in California. But also it has chicken, of course, and it also has pork belly for my association with Chicago right now. But the heavy Japanese part is really reflective of Takashi Ikegami, who has been very much part of the Birdsong Diamond project. In fact, in a way, he was more instrumental at the beginning than I was. Well, I could show you what it looks like, I think. Whoops, gotta take this off. That's it, and it's in the donabe. That's the hot pot. Yeah. Well, I haven't tasted it yet. In the spirit of Victoria, I have no idea what's going to happen because I've never made it before. It's truly spontaneous. But there it is. It has lean meat. It has foods high in calcium. Of course, the chicken. And for the dessert, there will be a honey in the spices. It's cooked without spice, and the spice is both Japanese pepper and a little bit of salt are first put in the bowl, and then the hot pot is placed into the bowl. And of course, herbal tea would go with it well.
Nice.
So that's the background for the meal that I prepared.
Thank you. And you were going to share something about the chicken language that I'm going to pull up.
Oh, well, I can do that if this is the right time.
Here we go.
So
Go ahead and introduce it.
This isn't the first one, Victoria.
Oh, sorry.
The first one is you cannot start screen. Let's see if I can do it now. The first one is the hens giving their alarm call.
Okay, I can pull that
one. A classic case of calls having specific meaning.
And that's at the very beginning.
It's, well, there's one that shows the hens giving one, and then the males. Let's see if I can do it from mine.
Here we go. I got it. Just 1 second. How's that?
Well, I don't see. There it is. Okay, so we can just do that for a little bit. They're agitated, and they're agitated.
What is the alarm calling all about? Let's find out. Kitty.
That's why they're agitated for the ground predator. Now we go to the next one. It shows the roosters with the roosters have an aerial predator that they're concerned with.
Just 1 second. The hawk alarm?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody should know that Chuck actually researched language of birds. If you know about his work, it's pretty amazing. Okay, here we go.
There's a hawk nearby, and the rooster doesn't see it this time, so I'm gonna sound the alarm.
The behavior was quite different, and note that they really are diving for cover because that would be the appropriate response.
Oops.
And then the final one is just to give something about the about the dialects or the different languages, the different breeds of chickens. There are some 2,000 breeds of chickens, and they give different, somewhat different calls. It's kind of neat, I thought, to hear these. I wasn't aware of it before seeing this video. Six minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There he is. Oh.
Roosters can also sound very different in their crowing. That's because there are over 2,000 breeds of domesticated chicken existing in the whole wide world, and so the different breeds can sound very different to each other.
Brahma. It's Diwali. Diwali. Oh. Oh my goodness.
So I think you got the flavor. They're just like humans. They have different dialects. And
I mean, this was very much your research with birds to show that, right?
it was. Since retiring, I've been I haven't been doing really the same sort of research I did. I've been studying mostly, if you can believe it, the humanities rather than science. That's another story.
That's another story. Thank you so much. That's really an amazing way to begin this rooster feature. And I'm so grateful for your presence, for your presentation, for your research, and the gift that you gave to us with the Birdsong Diamond. It was the most amazing experience to understand the language of birds that's not limited to mating and food hunting, but actually is a whole communication network and how much it's part of us. Thank you, Chuck. All right, so Masha, let's go to you, since it seems like a logical connection with Chuck.
Yeah, I'm super happy to meet Charles Taylor. I heard so many things about you, and I think that I met almost everyone from the Birdsong Project except you, but now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because in Japan I also met with Ikegami, and of course with Victoria and John. We were making together the Birdsong Diamond. And we were also very pleased to have part of the Birdsong Diamond also here in Slovenia, in Trbovlje, in the mines, actually. That was a very nice presentation. And in my background, you can see the rooster painting, watercolor painting. It was made by the Chinese artist Chen Dei, who actually specialized in the drawings and watercolors of flowers and roosters. So you can find many incredible paintings of roosters for him. And I also taught my one-armed colleague in the laboratory to draw a rooster. So this is what he made. Can you see? You can see.
Yeah, beautiful.
And the special thing is that my colleague it's called Yaski, and he's a robot. The robot arm, I taught the robot arm to draw.
Wow.
A rooster.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because I'm doing a lot of with robotics. So I also went to Japan, of course, to study robotics, where I met with Victoria Vesna. I prepared some little dishes. I was using this book to help me. Yes. And you can see
Oh,
I prepared
wow.
a little bit of lean proteins, which is good for the roosters. So here is the salmon. And in the middle, you can see a special Slovenian dish. It's called buckwheat. Right? It's very, very healthy. And in the middle, you can see an origami rooster.
Oh, wow.
That my whole family today after lunch we were making origami, and it's not easy, it's very difficult. So this one was the most successful that came out, and it was made by Alex, my partner.
Beautiful.
And that one was made by me.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yes. And my mother prepared a special offering. And this is like an apple pie.
Oh, wow.
And it's made out of our apples from our garden.
Wow.
And I have a little offering also here. It's a Slovenian blood. It's a blueberry schnapps.
Cheers.
When you visit Slovenia, you have to try it.
You
I don't know,
have to.
Victoria, you try it, and I think that John tried.
Yes, it's fabulous. Cheers.
Yes, cheers. Okay. And for me, through this project, it was very interesting to learn some new things about roosters. I never paid so much attention on the roosters, and I was very positively surprised how much they are important for the science, for the medicine science, especially for the. I didn't know that the first cancer causing virus, the rose sarcoma virus, was identified in the chickens. Just for me, very interesting. And also that the chicken genome was the first bird genome sequenced in 2005. And I was also very surprised. I didn't know that I don't know if this is true, but that the chickens are the closest living relatives to dinosaurs.
Yes, it's true.
Really, I would say maybe some kind of lizard, but not the chicken. And I searched also a little bit about the meats. Of course, all the meats of the roosters are very positive ones, especially the ones from the Japan, so that they are driving away the bad spirits, and they are bringing the sun, bringing the light, the new kind of a new day or new era. That's exactly what we need now. And then I checked a little bit further and more, and I found that in China and in some places in Thailand, chicken fortune telling is used to predict the future of the marriages. So
what?
Yes. Fortune telling is popular among the Miao Wango County in the southwest of Ginju. Roosters, wing bone, tide bone, tongue bone, and eyes are used for prediction of the fortune telling.
Wow.
So, yeah. So by the color and positions of the sacrificed chicken claw, eyes, thigh bones, skull, and bones, they are all examined and for signs of good or bad fortune. So if these organs are good or bad, they can see the fortune of the marriage of this couple.
Oh, God.
Yes. And in some villages, also in Thailand, before they got married, the husband, you know, he had to put the rooster around his waist and, and visiting his wife house, and then they have to put the rooster around her head for 3 times to drive away the bad spirits.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice new information.
And now I would also like to share a video with you where in some China university, a student taught a rooster to play music.
No.
Yeah. Can you see?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Did
But
you
now
check?
let's see.
Did you check off the sounds? When it's
Not, I.
maybe stop sharing and do it.
Can you hear?
Yeah, we can actually. Just make it full screen.
Mhm.
Ah. Amazing.
So we see that it's possible to teach roosters to play instruments.
Incredible.
Yes. And now I would like to close my presentation also with a rooster drink, rooster Williamovka.
Ah, wow.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, excuse me, Mariam will share now some of the images from the wonderful dinner that you hosted. This was in Slovenia. You can tell us a little bit about the environment, and your exhibition is there. That I was super excited about and proud to see. It's amazing. So these are the bags, and you can tell us actually because you created it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we made a goodie bags, so that some ornaments from hawks, you know, they received like that, and we prepared as well laser cutted signs for each of the participants. And Lily was helping with the translation, so we prepared like the Slovenian instructions for each sign. And yes, the place is very special. It's like the monastery complex. And it's in Kostanjevica na Krki, which in Slovenia we call it also like Little Venice, because the town is surrounded by the river. It's kind of like a little island. And there is this big monastery complex where you can see the galleries all around. There are like exhibitions of like very important Slovenian artists from history. And there in the middle, they have also a big monastery church, which is also now used for exhibitions. It's very huge and impressive. And I'm very delighted they opened the door for my exhibition, for my robotics exhibition. So inside of the church, you can you are faced to 12 robotic sculptures and images of the robots, of the real robots from Professor Ishiguro laboratory. And the whole exhibition is actually about the voices of robots. So when we enter to the environment where we are faced with all these robots, we are faced with the questions that robots are posing to us, because there is many discussion if we are ready for the robots, but now with all the AI advancements and robotic advancements, we as well have to ask if robots even want to live with us. Do robots want to be just another slaves to us? So this is
Masha,
actually, I made a whole story about the.
can you share just a couple of images? I'm sure you have it on your laptop. Because it's absolutely stunning. I should have prepared my own documentation. I'll pull it up. But it's just incredible, and it's in especially because of the space, because it's in this old monastery. Well, you can talk about it better than me.
Here is the short video.
Perfect. Can you make it full screen? Look at that.
Wow.
Is it silent?
Yes.
Beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, you really have to go inside and experience it. And I think it's very impressive you go there by yourself, so that you have like the intimacy with the robotics installation, with the robots.
Beautiful. So you see, I'm not exaggerating.
It's gorgeous. Wow.
So if you are in Slovenia, you should check it. It's going to be until the February. So a long-term exhibition.
Thank you, Masha.
Thank you.
I made a special trip for that because I was so happy, and I saw when Masha was preparing for it in the basement of a kind of factory, abandoned factory, and I thought, I'm coming. I don't care what it takes.
Because it was a challenge to find the studio, because one sculpture is like 3 meters high, and all 12 of them. So
yeah, beautiful. All right, thank you so much. Indeed.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Sure.
The Greeks had birds for fortune tellers. In fact, you may remember from Oedipus that the fortune teller there, Tiresias, was even dressed as a bird.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And even earlier than that, in the Iliad, and they spoke of reading the birds for fortune telling. Well, what about in the Slavic countries? Do birds and chickens have that same mystical fortune telling tendency?
Not that I would know for fortune telling, but they have it like on the roofs of all the churches to be closer to the divine. And
in South India, we use parrots for fortune telling, but they don't open them up. They just ask them to pull cards from a deck, and based on the cards that they pull, it's a tarot reading by parrots is what they use.
Oh my God!
It's called Kili Josiam. But it might be that they've trained them like the rooster playing the piano. Maybe they've trained them to to do that. So I don't know.
But the earliest domestication of jungle fowl was very close to India. In fact, I even saw when I was in India, you probably have seen jungle fowl, wild chickens that are the progenitors of our domesticated ones.
It's incredible, actually. Siddharth, it makes me think, maybe some of you don't know, but Siddharth has a project that's been running for kind of in parallel to this for the last 5 years, I would think, maybe
Yeah.
3. Neuro tarot cards. So as a neuroscientist, you can describe it better than I can. He got very interested, of course, in the unconscious and in this idea of reading. And recently he got a whole new following that's outside of academia. He went to a tarot conference and got a standing ovation. And I think there's something here with the parrot bit. I think that's the missing link. Siddharth, come on, let's make it real.
It's really amazing. You walk down the street and there'll be these people with little cages with parrots in them.
Incredible.
And then when you go and ask, they'll open the thing and then the parrot will come out, walk out, and it'll pull a card and then go back into the cage.
I mean, I would so trust that. I'm up for that reading. Amazing. Well, we have to do research about the Slavic countries. I didn't know. I don't know. I just know that they're very brutal with chickens. But the rooster, as you can see from this gold coin here, is actually the symbol of France. It's a big deal in France, and we could go into this whole thing about Gallic and the whole symbolism of it, but it's very much about this announcement, and this is what's lovely about the
Yeah,
rooster.
I had a Hawks dinner, and this person who came to the dinner said that the word rooster came about because the priest did not like the word cock, which is associated with the genitals. So they actually invented the word rooster to roost, based on the word roost, so that they could call it something else. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard. So
I read that too. When I was preparing for this, I saw that, and I can see that making sense in our prudish society.
Does anyone know the symbol that a rooster has in Portugal? Because I just remember symbols of roosters, little souvenirs in Portugal.
Yeah.
Well, what's amazing is when a big part of this project is about cultural interpretations. So we're in a way taking a Chinese cultural framework and then reframing it constantly depending on the location. And so the Slovenian one, as the most recent one, is a good example. Many out of the couple hours, 3 hours that we were together, most of the time people were speaking in Slovenian, and I was encouraging that because I felt like it's that area and that's how it should go. And we kept doing this. We were doing this in Portugal as well. But the point I'm trying to make is that everywhere we went, we were just amazed how it doesn't stop, the symbolism around animals and how it's all around the world, and it shifts depending on cultures where, some places in Africa consider roosters evil. A lot to be researched, but instead of us trying to collect that, we allow people to tell us their own stories from their own locations. So it's limited how much we can find out, but it's amazing how it just never stops, how deeply ingrained these animal symbols are inside us. Last but not least, from Connecticut, from Yale, we have Bailey. Welcome, Bailey.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, thanks to Ivana for introducing me to everyone. I'm gonna share my screen and then share some slides of work. And then I'm mostly just gonna read, if that's okay, for something like a while. Sure. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Ivana is like goes to school with me here at Yale, and sort of realized that my work is very much aligned with what all of you do. So it's kind of perfect. And I'll just sort of like read through ways in which my work like touches on these points with the Chinese zodiac. So my engagement with this began on a conscious level, at least something like a year ago, in October of 2021. At the time, I was making a series of works based on and around this courtyard type apartment building that I had just moved into in New Haven, Connecticut. In aerial view, this building's shape was something like a blocky uppercase letter U. It was also, pictorially, something like one's outstretched arms, the gesture of one's unreciprocated hug, as seen from above. I held on to this thing about hugging and started tracing X's and O's onto my sculptures of the time as hugs and kisses, and then X's and O's became tic-tac-toe, 0 and 10, pure binary code, open and closed. And then, in conversation with a mentor, this infinite sequence of X and O became a finite sequence of O and X, of ox, the animal, the hardworking animal, the animal usually yoked in pairs. It was the year of the ox, and I had had no idea. So here's a couple of bad install images from my first crit at Yale, which was like a year ago. The white sculpture in the front, in the foreground, is titled The Year of the Ox, parentheses, arena. And then the one in the back is The Year of the Ox, parentheses, an alphabet. There were other works that I don't need to get into. So with some research, I then learned that before the year of the ox, it had been the year of the rat, our cyclical zodiac's first animal. I was excited to learn of this because in my prior body of work made during this year of the rat, rats were at the fore, and I again had had no idea at the time. These rat year rat works were shown in Chicago in May with Isabel. And for these sculptures, I had cut off this odd single-story architectural protrusion. Dare I say, I had cut off the cock, the rooster, the self, question mark, from sculptures made in replica of the building I was then living within. I was reconfiguring this building of mine, splicing it into iterative models whose interior volumes and shapes were based on the minimum ethical size standards for laboratory rat cage in the US. I was making this work during the height of COVID, and I was conflating and thus comparing, although through many removes, my own isolated confinement to the hostility of lab rat housing. And I, with my rat tail of then 10 years, was in a sense a lab rat myself. In a sense, I was becoming subject. So shifting backwards, this is called orientation. This is XEX, parentheses, spirit. And then there were like 5 iterations of these cut off sculptures. This one's untitled, parentheses, ethical configuration 02. This one's 09. And then this is orientation as it was installed with another one of the cutoffs. And then moving forward, quite forward, this is the first iteration of 2 large-scale sculptures made of foam in many layers of paint that are titled B Crush and A parentheses Crush, I made these as the year of the ox was coming to an end in the spring. They were presented for my second critique here at Yale. It was March 2022. So this is an install of these here at school. That's A crush, and that's B crush. And then these are the same yet different two sculptures in their second iterative form, represented a few months later, like one season later, in Berlin. It was June 2022. It was no longer the year of the ox now. The title of B Crush stayed for this showing, and the title of A Crush was changed to X Crush, EX parentheses crush. The two sculptures were taken apart and put back together again and reshown in a similar relational position to as they were shown before, except with a greater distance between. X Crush was now layered in a semi-transparent blue tinted white paint, the inverse of its original brown color, and it was lifted from the ground. Crossed out lowercase a's softly swirled on its surface too. So this is, yeah, the backside of B Crush. And then both of them. And then a sort of detail of X Crush's new look. So I'll read a sort of like statement that I had written between the first iteration of these crushes and the second iteration of these crushes. It sort of functioned as a way, as a sort of pivot out of and onto, or like a demarcation or bridging of the year of the ox and the year of the tiger. So yeah, it was written in May when the ox should have been something like old news, but it wasn't. I was stuck in a reflective state then, sliding further and further out of sync with kind of everything. I'll note, or maybe renote, that my use of things such as the animals of the Chinese zodiac function as shells, acting as and in states of surrogacy. So this might take a few minutes, but it's titled The Year of. So yeah, it'll bring together these works with what I'll show next. To my right sits a book titled Cat Behavior that I checked out from the library and have yet to read and likely never will. But I like what it does for me as a prop, sitting on my desk, title upside down, on display for whomever comes to visit and cares to notice. I thumbed through the illustrations towards the back one night, squinting at the sequentially laid out thumbnails of domestic cats fucking. This content, the way they fuck, none of it was what I was expecting. I showed a friend and they called me a creep, as if their morals were more ethical than mine, their sexuality less perverse. All to say that it's now the year of the tiger, and in desperation, I'm conflating my common domestic short-haired boy at home with the big cats that I know nothing about. All I know is that tigers eat cows, and that you also eat cows, and that cows are female. The year of the tiger has consumed the year of the ox, a last year of kisses and hugs, just as the ox had consumed the rat back when we were living our facaded lives in Evanston just 1 year prior. At what recent point did I allow for the ox to metamorphose into cow? It must have had something to do with flesh and gender. The double entendre of the word crush, a physical encounter in which the act of hugging is as much a distraction as it is a comfort, a shifty emotional state of relational hierarchies and power dynamics, of pain in relationship to pleasure. It's both this and that, that and this all at once. Architectures to hold a cow, structural surrogates of the cow, you and I as this pair of cows, engaged in a conversation that will be our last. You as an A and now X, and I as in B. In Pliny the Elder's account of the origin of painting, he recounts the myth of the Corinthian maid. In his version, a woman named Cora traces the shadow outline of her soon-to-be departed lover's face on her wall with the help of a candle. In this tale, Cora has transformed her lover, who will soon be forever absent, into a work of art. Her lover's shadow image replaces his embodied presence, becomes his surrogate, her distorted mnemonic aid. Absence is articulated and preserved as presence, and presence is articulated and preserved as absence. You are losing your form. You as in shadow, and I, my ego, crushed yet still here, looking at myself in reflection. Stand-ins, facades, believability, what is inside and what is out. Where are the boundaries between self and allowing for a departure from and of the model, subjectivity and consciousness are taking the helm, and the I is asserting itself in a coded accounting of autobiography. Okay, and so that's a bridge, and we're here. And these are my most recent works presented just earlier this month, again for critique here at school. They're in the same room as the first iteration of the Crush sculptures, the two brown ones. But here, everything has been shifted forward in the room so that the past is emptied. It is a pause. In place of B Crush is the observer. In the lineage of A Crush and X Crush is a scene of the present, a tableau vivant, titled in caps, She Does Recreate the World Before Going to Bed. In the spot where A Crush / X Crush used to stand is a shell of the observer's sculpture tipped on its side. Atop it is a white tiger, by chance the rooster's heavenly creature, whose height is scaled 1-to-1 with my domestic cat at home named Lutz. And in line and in time with these sculptures is a wallwork titled The Year of, parentheses, with middle life trees. This is just like an install image. This is the observer, in a sense, taking place of a crush. A detail of the wallwork with some stuttering bees. And then this is the sort of tableau that has replaced the other crush. And then as an offering, I was going to offer myself to be eaten, but because I don't cook meat or eat meat, or like cook or eat rooster chicken, I was going to offer an easy one that I provide every day for breakfast and dinner to my cat Lutz, this white tiger in a sense. A canned and shredded version of self, perhaps bits of self and ample gravy. So here's a video of him eating breakfast this morning. There we go.
That was so wonderful. Thank you so much. And the last piece with the animals kind of overwhelmed. It's beautiful. I hope you had a good critique.
It went quite well, yeah. I think.
Good. Lisa, do you have any comments? John, Meg.
I loved how it all kind of tied back, and you kind of landed in on the zodiac stuff without actually realizing it, and then it just progressed from there. It was just like really interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long I can go on with it. We'll see.
Well, the year of the rabbit's coming, so
Yeah, that's a complicated one.
indeed. Tell us a little bit about your connection with the white tiger, because that is actually the heavenly animal of the rooster.
Yeah, I didn't know this also. I mean, until I was like looking at your site, and I had talked with Ivana about it. It was just this sort of like nice alignment, but it wasn't part of that. Do you know like what is the heavenly creature? How does that function?
What there's so many different variations that we will probably make up our own at the end, because it's all a story anyway.
Yeah.
But the idea is that the physical body, so every animal is related to a part of your body, and it's very much about physicality and about flesh and human relationship to the animal. The heavenly, it goes beyond that. So it's a kind of a higher consciousness that's related to that particular sign and body. That's your
Also,
protector.
and I think different animals share heavenly creatures, and we kind of wanted to make sure people get away from the fact of separatedness and think about more interconnectedness, and make sure that people are able to relate to one another, as opposed to thinking, oh, I'm a rooster, I'm this separate entity, as opposed to if you share a heavenly creature with someone else, you'll be able to form that relationality.
I already had breakfast, but it included eggs. I took a picture I could share. Okay, so this is a Mexican dish. So they're huevos flotando, is what we call them in the family. It's not like you wouldn't order that like that at a restaurant, but yeah, it's basically eggs floating in salsa that's like homemade with tomatillos ground up in a molcajete traditionally, but we used a blender this time, and beans on the side. Yeah, very nourishing, and corn tortilla chips, yes, as well.
So is it like a soup, or how does it go?
I mean, it can get soupy, yes, but it's in a flat plate, or like just a slightly curved plate in this presentation, but depends on how much sauce you want. I've eaten it with a lot more sauce and it becomes more of a soup, but it's very spicy, so you have to be able to handle that much salsa. Yeah.
This is a perfect interpretation example.
Exactly. Yeah. But Frida and I are both roosters, so yes.
Oh, Frida's a rooster too?
Yeah.
Oh my God, wonderful.
For the longest time, she thought she was a dog, but because the year starts, in February, well, it depends on the year, but in 1981, it ran over into February 1982. So she's January 1982, so she's also a rooster.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is she around or no?
She's kind of chilling.
Okay.
So.
Did you want to share a rooster story with us? Or
yeah. I mean, so I've been taking a lot of permaculture courses lately, and roosters and chickens are extremely important in permaculture, in kind of tending different areas of gardens and properties. So they provide ample fertilizer, right, and also of course provide eggs. They don't need to be fertilized, they're just the chickens are constantly producing eggs. And one thing I found out recently, visiting this place called the Urban Homestead, is that it's very important, if you ever do decide to get chickens, to get many different types of chickens, because if you just get one type of chicken, they will, if you then introduce another chicken, another breed of chicken, they'll attack it because they're highly sensitive to color differences. Even if the chickens look like similar breeds, they have UV vision as well. So they have 4 cones as opposed to 3 cones in their eyes. And so that color detection also makes them extremely keen on identification, and they know each other very well too. They have a very well-established pecking order, so everybody's identified.
Pun intended, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's where it comes from. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Really beautiful. Are you working with permaculture now?
Yeah. I was just at a convergence last weekend, and at the school where I'm teaching, we just started a permaculture garden site. So
beautiful.
It's a big deal for pretty much any of these kind of institutions. This is a high school. It's a prep school, but it's kind of aiming towards being Ivy League, and we see that at UCLA too, right? Where everything's still a lot of like green grass everywhere, except for like at the botanical gardens. So the idea is that eventually, like getting these institutions of higher education to understand that the campuses actually could be producing food and saving water and teaching the students about how to do this in their own homes and communities. So yeah, that's
such important work. I've been trying to talk about that, as you know, forever, using the green patch that's in the front of the Broad building. I just don't understand it. I keep saying, think about how much water, pesticides, human labor goes into something that nobody really uses. And I get a tap on my shoulder and then everybody forgets about it. So that's pretty much how it works.
Yeah, but imagine if that quad was a small, like a garden with chickens and
amazing.
Yeah, and it really wouldn't take that much effort.
No,
in fact,
and it would be
get
great.
Involved, so
exactly, it would be also part of education. It seems like it's opposite to what everybody's talking about. So. When theory and practice get separated, this is the problem. When the body and the mind get separated, it's a problem.
Where I did my undergrad, we did have a huge lawn in front of the building, but we had a resident buffalo, and they hooked a kind of a cutter in the back of the buffalo, and it'll kind of cut all the grass. And then they'll turn it around and it'll eat all the grass, and it'll kind of poop on the grass and fertilize it. So it was like this whole system that was going on.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's the way to do it.
That's a good one for the Oxidars. Remember that one. I love that image for dogs. That's so cool. All right, so let's see what Jim's got offering to you. Mick, I'm so happy you joined, really. And best regards to Frida. Maybe she'll come out before we close.
Okay, I'll check. Yeah, you might have heard her laughing while I was speaking, but
2 roosters, amazing.